now, like, you're kind of a part of the Trump administration,
You
right?
believe that? I got too many felons. I can't be.
I have a feeling, well, see, he's got more than you do.
I never thought about
Think of it that way.
I never thought about that.
He just disqualified himself from Trump administration on the grounds that he doesn't have enough felonies. Think about what that sentence requires for you to believe. That the standard for working in the United States government is now measured not by competence or integrity or experience, but by how many criminal convictions you've accumulated and whether that number is competitive with the president's. Mike Tyson looked at the stats and the standards and said, honestly, I'm not sure I qualify. That's not a joke. That's a diagnosis.
You smoke weed there when you get to Mar-a-Lago?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not telling nobody. I'm an upright citizen.
Mar-a-Lago has a $250,000 initiation fee. Annual dues on top of that. It's a private members club where President of the United States conducts government businesses, meets with foreign officials, and apparently hosts one of the history's most famous convicted felons who may or may not be smoking marijuana on the premises. The same administration who may or may not be cutting drug rehabilitation funding. The same administration that wants mandatory minimums for non-violent drunk offenses. The same administration where the Attorney General has promised to crack down on recreational drug use. Mike Tyson at Mar-a-Lago saying, I'm an upright citizen, while not answering the weed question, is the most honest thing anyone has said about that place for years. He didn't say yes, he didn't say no. He said, I'm not going to tell you, which in Mike Tyson language means yes. Kimmel understood, the audience understood for sure.
Oh, the bufo toad or something?
Bufo, alvarius, yes.
That's a toad from the Arizona desert.
Yes.
And they squeeze it.
Yeah, nope. They squeeze the pimples on them. I guess a little pus goes on the window, it hardens, and then we fine it up to a little dust and take a light and go, beat me up.
And you find that the experience, you're not just doing this for fun.
No.
You feel like it's helping you.
Well, listen, 17 years ago, I was homeless, and look at me now.
Bufo alvarius is a toad from the Sonoran Desert. The venomous secret contains 5-MeO-DMT, one of the most powerful psychedelic compounds on Earth. Scientists at Johns Hopkins have been studying it as a treatment for severe depression and PTSD. The results in clinical trials have been extraordinary, and one session producing effects that last months. 17 years ago, Mike Tyson was homeless. He had $3 million in career earnings and nothing to show for it. Bankruptcy, broken marriages, prison, a life that had consumed itself. Then he did the toad. Then he started fighting again at 54. Then he filled 80,000 seats at AT&T Stadium. Then he became a boxing promoter, giving young fighters the career he almost didn't have. The man licked a desert toad and rebuilt his entire life. Meanwhile, the man in the White House has never once in 87 years on this earth admitted he needed to change anything. One of these men has done serious self-reflection. The other one put his face on the passport.
James Brown came to visit you?
Yes, James Brown came.
He spoke to you? What did he say? Do you remember any of that? Could you understand anything he was saying?
Sometimes I could. Yeah. Sometimes I could. Man, you got money. I can tell you got money going on right here. Because the cops are nice things that you got money going on right here, boy. I can see that.
Who else visited you there? JFK Jr., James Brown. This is unbelievable.
I don't know. I got some.
It's like an episode of Fantasy Island.
Okay.
Who's that? Whitney Houston?
Whitney Houston. Who else?
Wow.
MC Hammer.
James Brown, JFK Jr., Whitney Houston, MC Hammer. Those are the people who showed up when Mike Tyson was in prison. Not to be photographed, not for a press release, not because their publicists thought it would be good for their image. They showed up because that's what you do someone you actually know. There's something worth sitting with it in that list. Everything was just too bad for him that they showed up for him and they're his friend. People who understood something about being at the bottom him and being visited anyway. Trump visited nobody in prison. He sent tweets, he held rallies, he gave pardons to people who donated him. He has never in his life shown up for anyone who had nothing left to give him. Mike Tyson, a convicted felon, has more current understanding of loyalty than the President of the United States.
I'm in solitary, because, I'm in solitary. I got in trouble. And Florence Henderson, they told me Florence Henderson would like to visit you. But I had to turn the visit down because I would have to go up there and like shackles.
Florence Henderson?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
But I didn't want to go see me in shackles. I look like
Did you know?
Kente, huh?
I think you made the right move not coming out because it sounds like you were being set up to me in some way.
Mike Tyson turned down a prison visit from Miss Brady because he didn't want her to see him in shackles. That sentence contains more dignity than anything said at the White House this week. He was in solitary confinement. He was 27 years old. He had gone from the youngest heavyweight champion in history to a man in chains in an Indiana prison, and his instinct in that moment was to protect someone else's feelings. Not his image, not his legacy, Mrs. Brady's feelings.
Me and you've been doing this since 2003.
That's right. You were here for us the very first year.
2003.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
We were just young men.
A lot of guys have died since then. We're still here.
Mike Tyson, everybody.
A lot of guys have died since then. We're still alive. Mike Tyson said that at the end of the 70-minute conversation that covered psychedelic toads, Mar-a-Lago weed, James Brown visiting him in prison, Florence Henderson being turned away from solitary, and whether he has enough felonies to qualify for the Trump administration. And somehow, at the end of all of it, this was the sentence that landed hardest. We are still here. Mike Tyson should not be here by every statistical measure available. Poverty, he grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn, the violence, the prison sentence, the addiction, the $300 million that disappeared, bankruptcy, the tragedy of losing his daughter Exodus in 2009, he should not be here. The actual tables for a man who lived his life had him gone years ago. And yet, here he is, 60 years old, launching a box tournament, doing psychedelics responsibly, raising pigeons, visiting Mar-a-Lago, turning down Mrs. Brady. I want to talk about what this interview reveals about the man he was compared to in that Felony show, because Donald Trump has also, statistically speaking, survived things that should have ended him: 4 criminal indictments, 34 felony convictions, 2 impeachments, 2 assassination attempts, a business empire that went bankrupt 6 times. But here's the difference: every time Tyson fell, something in him cracked open. The prison sentence broke him down and rebuilt him. Bankruptcy forced him to reckon with who he was. Toad, the actual Toad from the desert, gave him something he'd never had: stillness. Trump has never been cracked open by anything. Every catastrophe has made him more sealed, more certain, more convinced that the problem is always somewhere else and someone else, and never ever him. If this is the kind of thing you came here for, please subscribe and like the video, and please comment down below. I'll see you in the next one.